Do you want to watch Heather and Julia work together in a season, Gwen hanging out with the goths, or maybe even Scary Girl and Izzy causing chaos? The possibilities of different duos are endless. With more than around 100 characters in the franchise across different seasons, have you ever thought of what would happen if A met with B? For example, what if someone from the original Island season had an interaction with someone from the reboot cast? Would it be a good match or not? So that's why I came up with this video, Total Drama Duos That Need to Happen. Basically, who are two different characters who never interacted or did not interact much with each other, but I think would work great in a duo. However, this would be kinda boring if I just listed a bunch of duos I would like to see. So instead, I'm gonna change it to 5 duos I want to see. But what if they were on the Ridonculous race? I think this is more interesting, and the best part is that I am able to create fun art for each pairing. Speaking of art, did you know I have a DeviantArt where I occasionally post my art? Well, I know many of you have asked if I ever do commissions, and I have never been interested in it until now. Lately, I have really been in a drawing mood, so I have now opened a commission shop that will be open during the month of July only. So if you ever wanted me to draw something for you, now is your chance. For example, I just helped a user and updated his OC. What do you think? With all that said, here are 5 total drama duos I would want to see, and here is how they would do on the Ridonculous race. And be sure to comment on who you would like to see as a duo. So first up, we have a quite unique duo in my opinion, but I do think they fit well together. And that is MK and Max, and I think their team name would be Failed Villains. I know a lot of you are wondering why MK is a failed villain. In my opinion, she is not a failed or bad villain, but if you compare her with Julia, she is the weaker one, and things usually don't go her way. Also, I really don't see them as real villains because they aren't really that mean. To me, these are more like entertainment with how they got treated, especially Max. I know a lot of you do not like Max, but to me, he is iconic and funny as hell. So, how would these interact? I think it's gonna be similar to him and Scarlet, like Max has a plan, but MK thinks it's stupid. In my opinion, I feel like MK is more open and willing to join Max's ideas and plans, because she cares less and be like, whatever. But at the same time, she is curious to see if it actually works or not. So I think they would be really fun to watch. As for the race, honestly, they would flop. I mean, neither of them are not that physically strong, but they are mentally. But I think Max is someone who gets distracted quite often, and I don't think MK is gonna put 100% energy on this. So the final verdict is that they are gonna be an early boot, maybe to episodes 7 to 9 or something like that. However, they are gonna be fun to watch, so that makes up for their early departure. Next up, we have Sanders and Brick. And honestly, these are 2 characters I don't really care about. But I do think they would have a good dynamic as Sanders is a police officer and Brick is an army cadet. As Dawn said, Brick needs to be dominated, and I think Sanders could be a good mentor for him. As Joe was kinda toxic to him, and I think MacArthur would just add on that. I was actually gonna pick MacArthur for this one, but seeing her being busy with all her side jobs and total drama-rama made me pick Sanders instead. I think their dynamic is gonna be that Brick messes up a lot, but because Sanders is nice and a good leader, she gives him soft criticism, so he gets off easy. For the race, I think they would do pretty well as they are quite a well-rounded team. The only thing that would let them down is Brick's mistakes. They would be a strong team and could easily win, but I think they are slowly gonna crumble and get eliminated, and here is how I think it would go. I think early on in the race, they could be really dominant, but Brick does not make that many mistakes. But during the middle of the season, Sanders kinda gets tired of Brick's mistakes. So she slowly becomes a little bit stricter and stricter. At one point, she just snaps and gets super strict, which Brick does not like and is kinda afraid of her, and they have a fallout. But in the next episode, Sanders realizes that she might have been a little bit too strict, and opens up again and apologizes. They hug, and they are eliminated. I think that would be a good ending to their story. This could happen at any time, depending on how long you want to drag out this storyline, but I think episode 13, which was the prison episode, would make a lot of sense for them to go home, even if it was non-elimination. Our third duo I want to talk about is Kelly and Sammy. And I think they would be a very wholesome duo as they kind of have some things in common. And what do they have in common? Well, they live with a bratty teen who hates them. Yes, it seemed like Taylor and Kelly seemed to be on good terms again, but let's pretend that they didn't. It seems like Kelly is on the outside of her family, and Taylor seems to like her father much more than her mom. And from what it looks like in the series, it seems like Amy has always been the favorable one, or at least get the most attention, even if she is the mean one, as it seems her team usually agrees with her, so I think this would also apply to her parents. So that's why I think they would fit very well together, as they are someone they kinda wished they had. Kelly probably always wanted a loving daughter, and Sammy probably always wanted a caring family member. For their dynamic and their run in the race, they can kinda be strangers at first who don't know why they were partnered up together. But as they open up about themselves or family matters, they realize they have a lot of things in common, and this tightens their bond. As for how well they would do in the race, this will depend more on their storyline, as that's their focus. They kinda need 3 arcs to complete their story. First, they need to bond, run the race as a quote-unquote good mom and daughter duo, and finally an arc where they prefer their old family and want to return to them. Because I think it would be weird if they got eliminated and preferred each other more than their real families. They are mostly here to experience a good family dynamic and how it feels. It's not going to be a permanent thing. As you know, I love Kelly and I could care less about Sammy. But if you have seen my total drama Ridonculous Race 2, you can see how much plot armor I gave Kelly and Alfredo, so if I could pick and choose, I think Kelly and Sammy would at least make it to around episode 20. I think this storyline could be interesting without it feeling like we are dragging it on throughout the whole season. Cough, cough, Carrie and Devin. Next up is a little different as both of these competed in the same season, and this is Jeff and Dwayne. Honestly, it could be either Jeff or Brody, but I went with Jeff because he has a girlfriend, so Dwayne can relate more to him. Yes, they did compete in the same season, but they didn't interact much, and if they did, it was almost always about Junior. So what happens when you take Junior out of the picture? I paired these two is because I have always had a feeling that Dwayne is that kind of awkward dad who is trying to be cool. So why not make him cool by pairing him up with one of the party guys? This team is all about Dwayne going out there and having the time of his life. No need to care about his son or his wife. This is all on him. Jeff is more of a support character in this duo, as his mission is to make Dwayne come out of his shell. As for the race, I have no idea because if the surfer dudes and Wayne can win, literally anyone can win. All you need to be is nice, goofy, and likable, and I think these two fit the criteria. If I could choose, and this was reality, they would be an early boot, but since it's fresh TV, they would probably be eliminated and then come back right before the final. Wait, oops, that already happened? But yes, I do think they can win. Our final is a duo that you guys think is so random, but they are not. It's no one other than Millie and Ripper, aka the Swifties. Well, we don't know, but that is my headcanon that these two are die-hard Taylor Swift fans. As you probably have seen in many of my videos, I often pair Ripper and Millie together as best friends. Which is weird since they weren't really friends on the island, as Ripper usually made fun of her. But here is the origin story on how I came to the conclusion that these two belong with each other as best friends, and no, I do not ship these two. Ooh. So, as we know in season 1, Priya and Millie were besties, and we thought that would be the case forever. But then Caleb came and stole Millie's spot, Priya forgot who Millie was, and all she cared about was Caleb. Now with Priya gone, who would go to the next Taylor Swift concert with her? Well, it turns out Ripper, the Alpha Chad, is also a secret Taylor Swift fan. So these two are now besties and go to different concerts together, and they are constantly on Stan Twitter. Who knows? Maybe Ripper is the real owner of Buffy's. Now, are these two compatible? Probably not, but don't we like an enemies to besties storyline? So, how would they do on the race? Honestly, they would flop. Like, I'm not trying to be funny or anything. These two would come last every episode, and the only reason they stayed was because a team got a penalty or something. They would be saved at every non-elimination leg until the finale, but that's where it matters. During the final episode, they go all in and win, and there is no alternative ending. This is the canon ending. The total drama Ridonculous race winners are the Swifties, Millie, and Ripper. Then, when they come home, they are gonna brag it to Priya's face. And then when season 3 of the reboot happens, they team up once again and vote Priya off as the first boot. Then everyone is happy, and world peace has been achieved. All thanks to Millie and Ripper. If you love this duo, comment hashtag Millie and Ripper the Swifties. So that was it. That was all the first 5 new duos I think should happen in Total Drama. Which of these duos were your favorite? Do you have any duo ideas you want to see in Total Drama in the future? Be sure to comment below, and they might appear in part 2 of this video series, only if you want. If you are interested in part 2, also comment below. If the demand is high, maybe it will happen. Now, before we end the video, I once again want to remind you guys of my DeviantArt. Remember to follow me there and make a commission if you want to. If you have any questions about that, you can just ask in the comments or in the chat on DeviantArt, and I will reply as best as I can. Now we have reached the end, and that was all for this video. As always, before we end, be sure to comment and like this video, as well as also subscribe to my channel if you love Total Drama. With all that said, see you in the next video, which is still unknown to me, and I have not planned or prepared anything. What a professional YouTuber I am, right? Anyways, goodbye, and see you soon.